Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, where the insults start very early, almost as soon as the first record fades below the horizon. That's Ray Charles, or as he's known in Derry, Ray Charles. Everything was going his way.
You're the only one that says that.
I always say Ray Charles.
But you always say that people in Derry say that, and they don't.
They do.
They do not.
They do.
There's not a person apart from yourself. And the other one that you lie about too is Roy Orbison.
The show's only started 2 minutes, you've now called me a liar.
Yeah.
That's good. Keep that up. Ray Charles, everything was going his way, and then he died.
I like that song.
So do I. What an opener.
It's very good.
What
very,
an opener.
Very good.
That's from an album called Ray Sings, Basie Swings. That's Count Basie Orchestra and Ray Charles. What a great thing.
Would you have a Lee Hazelwood CD with you? Or a
No.
song by... It's for Fiona Dennison in Belfast.
Tell her I'm sorry, I don't do Lee Hazelwood. Alas, at the moment. No, I don't have a Lee Hazelwood. I've never had one. I'm sure you've one amongst your grubby little pile
The
upstairs.
only Lee Hazelwood I have is Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra. What? Give me a Lee Hazelwood song on his own.
Sugar. Was it Sugar Town?
That's Nancy Sinatra.
Is that Nancy Sinatra? But I mean, did he not write that?
No, but give me a Lee Hazelwood song.
I don't know. Give me one.
No, I can't either.
Well, stop it then.
Okay.
Hughie Green was the king of insincerity. You come close, Anderson, but no cigar. You see people suggesting that I'm insincere. I hate that. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme. This programme will continue like this for no reason up until about 12 o'clock, and then it will stop. Then another programme will take its place. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme before the other programme starts is 08459 555 678. I think it's wrong that we should have the same number as Nolan, because we might attract some of the same people. The presenter greatly admired the latest film in the BBC series showing the private and sometimes unsavoury lives of their former stars. This week, Hattie Jakes. Next week, Stephen Nolan. But his admiration was reserved for the casting of the man with the big red book. Hello! First of all, it's almost impossible to find somebody who looks like Eamon Andrews. Hello!
But the guy had the side of the mouth and the hair.
That's what I mean. The point
everything.
is the chances of finding somebody who looked like Eamon Andrews, who sounded like Eamon Andrews... nil. The chances are nil. So my suggestion is, and my theory is, that they found this guy and said, right, we'll dub the voice. I think they dubbed the voice. Hello!
Do you think? I don't think so. But
How can you get somebody who looks like Eamon Andrews and sounds like him?
I went.
You can't do it. That's like... no, hold on a minute.
Is this
Come back to somebody said to you... Come back to somebody said to you, go out and find somebody that looks like Jimmy Cricket and sounds like Jimmy Cricket. You can't do it. There's nobody like that. There's nobody who looks like Eamon Andrews and sounds like Eamon Andrews. Did you ever meet Eamon Andrews?
Never.
I met him.
Oh, you met him in the showband days, didn't you?
Oh, yes. He used to have a recording studio in
Was
Belfast.
he a very shy man?
A very shy man. A very nice man. Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
Did you see how awkward he was? Which reminded...
He was a very shy man.
He reminded me on me at one particular time.
No, he didn't remind me of you at all because he didn't play golf and he wasn't hateful.
No, my attitude.
No, he didn't remind me of your attitude.
listen.
Your attitude is grasping and menial.
No, did you see when Spike Milligan came in and threw his arms around
He couldn't.
him?
He
He
didn't,
didn't like
handle it.
men hugging him?
No, he didn't like that.
He said, stop it. He kept saying to Spike Milligan, stop. No.
No, get away from me,
didn't
Spike.
like-
Get away, Spike. Spike. Get away, Spike. The presenters brushed shoulders with many of the greats of stage and screen. Hugo Duncan, John Daly, Big O, to name but two. But he remains very down to earth and unaffected by the experience. He puts it down to his early show business career on the mainland. At one stage, when I was very, very young, I was 17 years old, I went to England, to Manchester, to play in a band, in a resident band in an Irish club. It was a foolish thing to do, I know, and it scarred me for life. But we were making no money at all, and we were almost starving. So at one stage, someone said to us, why don't you get some kind of job? This was a revolutionary concept. But at that time, there were many jobs in Manchester. So me and a friend of mine, whom you know, decided to go to the Dole, and told them we were poor Irish lads on the verge of starvation and that we needed some kind of a light little job. And we were educated little boys. And so they got us jobs. One of the jobs, my friend, worked in some kind of chemical place where he had to test things. Not a guinea pig, you understand. He worked in some kind. But they sent me to a carpet office.
Yes.
They sold carpets. Now, my job was this. I used to sit at a desk and I had two trays. One was an in tray and the other was an out tray. A man used to come over and leave pieces of paper in the in tray, and then I would read them and put them in the out tray. Yes. I never found out what I was supposed to do to them. As a matter of fact, you can guess, I only lasted a week. But whilst looking out the window, I noticed that on the other side of the street was the stage door of the Palace Theatre in Manchester, on Oxford Street. I think it's Oxford Street, near the centre, near Deansgate, right? So this is in the centre of Manchester. And I looked out, And I realised that you could see actors, famous actors, going in and out. So this is what I spent most of my time doing. And I noticed that at a certain time each day, Kenneth Williams and Dora
Brian.
That's it. How did you know that?
Oh, Dora Bryan.
Dora
Hare, Dora Bryan.
Dora Bryans. Kenneth Williams and Dora Bryans would come out about kind of 1 o'clock. And
Is she Dora Bryans? You're saying Dora Bryans.
I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know what I'm saying.
I thought it was Dora Bryan.
Will you stop?
Oh, right.
Okay. You know who I mean.
Yes.
And the two of them are, one of them is still alive. Dora Bryans is still alive, I think. But Kenneth Williams obviously killed himself. And what was the last thing he wrote in his diary?
I know, but I forget.
What's the bloody point? What's the bloody point?
It's a great character, wasn't it?
Great character. Yes. Anyway, I noticed that they went out every day at 1 o'clock because that's when I used to go for my lunch. And they went round the corner. And I said, I wonder where they go. So one day I went down and I followed them. Mm-hmm. And they used to go into a little cafe. And she had a wee sandwich and he had a wee sandwich and a cup of tea. And she said, talking away like that. So I decided to go there. And every day I used to sit beside them and listen to what they were talking about. And finally they noticed me.
Right.
And one of them said, you
Hello.
come here all the time, don't you? I say, as a matter of fact, I do. Where are you from? I said, I'm from Londonderry.
Who's talking to you?
You're Protestant, aren't you?
Who is it? Is this
That's
Dora?
Dora Bryant.
Oh, Dora's
Kenneth Williams didn't
right.
talk like that.
No,
So where you
that's
come
right.
from, lad?
Aye.
I'm from Londonderry.
She was a wee bit chinny, wasn't she?
A bit chinny,
Aye, Dora.
and Kenneth Williams said, "Arr," he'd be sitting like this. No, but it's very funny, actually, and I got to know them quite well. And but I never went out with either of them.
Right. He was 64.
Who was?
Eamon.
When he died. Well, that's young these days. Last year I entered the New York Marathon, said Jerry. The race started and immediately I was last of the runners. It was embarrassing. An American who was in front of me, second to last, was making fun of me. He said, hey, buddy, how does it feel to be last? I said, you really want to know? So I dropped out of the race. Mr. Coyle's television career remains moribund and dead in the water, at least until the BBC looks for someone to play a werewolf with a Derry accent and a single brow. He lashes out for someone to blame, but first, a voice from beyond the grave.
Had Eamon Anderson any family, do you know, Mr. Anderson?
I don't know. But Wogan copied him a lot, you know.
Did he?
When I looked at Eamon Andrews doing This Is Your Life last night, I just thought of Wogan. Mm. And of course, Terry and I will be appearing on television on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And the following Sunday night at 9
I
o'clock.
wouldn't say too much about that in case you end up like me.
Oh, I could well end up at the cutting room floor.
You could end up like me.
He's
Wendy,
coughing, trying to attract attention.
Wendy got her way with me.
Did she?
Like, you know, with her scissors. With her scissors.
Wendy's evil, wicked way.
Wendy, and she still embraces me.
Well, I'll tell you what this is about. You see, every once in a while, people like ourselves, I'm being a well-known celebrity and Sean being in there, every once in a while we're asked to do things for television programmes, but it does not necessarily mean that we're actually in them. Because what actually happens is...
Are you talking to Mickey?
I'll talk to him in a minute. Mickey, stop sniffing.
No, he's still bubbling.
Well, what happens is that the film you do and whatever it is you do, in your case, you were making a horrible meal, weren't you? Mm-hmm. And then afterwards they look at everything and they decide what's crap, and they throw it away. That's usually the parts that involve me and you. So, well, you know, so even though I say that Terry Wogan's programme will be featuring me, I don't know for certain. They may have thrown me out.
Yes.
But alas, I don't think so, because the people contacted me and told me not to miss it.
Oh, well, that's all right.
They wouldn't do that if they'd thrown you out. They'd send you a message and say, listen, we couldn't include you, unfortunately, but, you know, hope you enjoy it anyway.
I wouldn't have minded, you know, if Wendy even had sent me the tape. You know, the thing...
You can't blame Wendy for that.
No, the parts they cut out.
You can't blame Wendy for that. I want you to take that back.
I can't.
You can't blame Wendy. Wendy was only the presenter.
But it was Wendy's show.
It wasn't Wendy's show.
It was Wendy's show. Everybody...
Wendy has no say in...
We listen to Wendy.
We do listen to Wendy, but I'm saying...
If we listen to Wendy...
If you do a TV programme in which Wendy is involved, you don't know what kind of say Wendy has in it. Sometimes it could be her show, sometimes she may be just doing a job of work. You can't blame her if you end up in the cutting room floor.
I'm not blaming Wendy.
I know why you ended up in the cutting room floor, because you were shite, that's why. The presenter is greatly admired and loved by the populace of his hometown. Beatification, or at least a statue, can't be far away. But some, in Derry-Londonderry, remain among the unconverted. They don't like him at all. Look at this here, look. This is the type of thing that I'm up against. And I know you're up against it, even though you fight it, but you haven't admitted it yet. What? Kieran Lynch is 45 years old on Friday and is having a big party on Saturday night to celebrate. He hates both Sean Coyle and Jerry Anderson. Guess where he's from? Here.
Right.
You know the way people don't like us here. So his
Speak
workmates...
for yourself.
They don't like you either. No, they don't like you.
I would say that.
No, they know you're crawling to make them like you.
No, that's
But they know what, I don't care.
That's probably added on.
I'm sorry, it says here he hates both Sean Coyle and Jerry Anderson.
No, I would say
So his workmates in Thornhill College want Jerry to mention his birthday and say that he often walks along with Kieran as he trains around Culmore and sees Jerry walking along with a supercilious smile on his face. I added that bit.
Yeah.
No, they don't like you either. You think they like you because you lick up to them. They don't like
I
you.
mean, lick up to
You do.
them.
You do. You're always trying to. You're always
Them
trying.
up
Look
to
at me,
them.
Let me play this sweet song for you. Let me play Roy Orbison. I believe everybody in Derry is watching Shameless.
Excuse me. I was telling Janet this morning on my way down here to
Oh,
work.
it's so warm in here. Excuse me whilst I take off this jumper.
As I was walking down to work this morning, I stopped. I talked to 5 different people.
Men.
Yes.
All
five,
men.
5 men. Yeah.
Oh, man. Why don't you talk to women sometime?
Yeah. I talked to a man who was out walking his dog.
These men were unemployed, were they?
And I asked him, is he a retired gentleman?
Oh.
And I was asking him how far would he walk and where's he going and all that conversation.
They
Then
probably
I-
thought you were from the police station.
No, I knew him. And then
sorry.
I met another man who was a taxi driver, and I asked him how was he coping and does this bad weather suit you or is it bad for business?
You working
Gen-
much?
You see?
Yeah.
And I met another man who keeps hens, and I was asking him about his hens.
Look at all the information you have at your fingertips about
This is
hands
walking-
taxis.
But you're saying, well, how come these people don't? Then I met another man who's working quite close to Radio Foyle. He's in the building trade, and I was asking him, what's the building trade like? Is it picking up any? And he was telling me, we're
Picking up a wee bit, yeah.
And and then a gentleman stopped, came running out of a car, and he came over. He's looking directions, and I gave him directions. So there you are. So that was me walking down to work, and you tell me they don't like me?
What a busy boy you are.
Well,
But here's something that hasn't occurred to you. Now, let me just say something to you.
Yes.
This may not have occurred to you.
Yes.
Many people talk to you, right? And you think you're making an impression on them. They might go away and say, I don't like him. They might say that. You don't know if they like you or not. Just because they talk to you doesn't mean they like you. They might
Well,
be
the
going around
man who
saying,
has the hens is named a hen after me.
what's the hen called? Coilus Hennis?
Wee Shanny. Wee Shanny.
Wee Shanny?
Yeah. Yeah. So there you are.
Well, next time you lay an egg, don't be calling for me. And now, some religion and food and sport. Not a bad start to the show at all, Ray Charles. Father Brian Darcy. Father Brian Darcy played some tracks from a singer called Ryan Kelly on Sunday. Can you play a track of his new album, please? Haven't heard it yet. I must ask Brian about it. I will see him. I'll ask him about it tomorrow. Am I cruel or just I'm not cruel, am I? I like the way Brian laughs.
I was going for the last ham sandwich one day.
And what happened?
No, you see, when you're at it was.
And Brian Darcy stole it?
It was half time at a match.
A football match?
And
Where?
We were afterwards.
Where were we?
No,
Was it
you
Gaelic
weren't-
match?
You weren't there.
Well, was it Father Brian Darcy there?
A friend.
What was he doing? It must have been a Gaelic match.
Yes, Brian Darcy was there, and we were.
Where was it? Come on, paint a picture.
It was
Where
at
was it?
Clonus.
All right.
All right.
Don't
right.
jump down me throat.
All
Clonus, all right.
Okay. And
Who was playing?
We were all there.
We were all there.
Oh, we're in the dressing
Who are
room.
we?
You don't know.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking
No,
you. Who are we?
because you're not interested. You're not interested.
No, I'm not
Let's
really. You're
see.
right.
You know.
Okay, go
Anyway,
ahead.
we were there, and it was, and you get tea and sandwiches.
Up Tyrone.
Aye, and I was hungry,
Yes.
and I know you don't be too greedy because it was my first time experiencing that.
Uh-huh.
See? But and I had a couple of sandwiches. Sandwiches were lovely. And I said, I'm having a rake of them.
GAA sandwiches are great.
Aye, I'm having a rake.
They're not like wee Protestant sandwiches.
I'll tell you who loves them.
Who?
Jackie.
Jackie loves them.
Jackie loves
I'll have
them.
another one of those GAA sandwiches.
Jackie loves them. And I said, I'm going to have a rake of them.
Uh-huh.
But they just go like piranha fish, you know what I mean?
Catholics are hungry.
Yes, there were some left, and I sort of got near the plate.
Uh-huh.
And then suddenly there were 3, and I said, right, I better move quick. And a man talked to me, and then suddenly there was only 1. I said, geez, I better get that ham sandwich. And as I was reaching over for it, Brian Darcy went, ho, 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 the last one, ho, 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 ho. And I looked at him eating it, and
The clerical hand reached over. The papal hand
So
reached
they all knew
over.
it was for Darcy. I didn't know. You don't touch the last one, it's for Darcy.
It's the father's sandwich.
That's the family belonging to the father.
Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.